one of the things I was doing today as I wait for some other components to come in, some from overseas, um, was running some speed tests because I had noticed some kind of surprising things. Those speed tests are on the various disks that are connected in various ways. And you've got here the Blackmagic disk speed test. We're going to be running the test first of all on the Crucial NVMe SSD, which is connected to a PCIe. This Samsung SSD, that's a 2 terabyte Samsung QVO that is connected via SATA. This Samsung Evo, which is a SATA SSD, but it is connected via a SATA to USB 3 adapter. My trusty Samsung T5, a wonderful drive, by the way, which is of course connected via USB 3. And I'll also be testing the Seagate 3 terabyte hard disk drive for comparison. All of these drives, for the purposes of this test, are empty drives. The one exception to that is the Crucial NVMe, which is the boot disk for this Catalina system. I'm certainly not going to erase that just for the sake of this test. So, when you first start up Blackmagic, it should be testing the boot drive. So here we go. $13.27 for write, $14.30 for read. These so far are a little bit slower than were coming up when I did this earlier. Not significantly, though. So in this go-around, we're getting pretty consistently 1335 to 1340 writes and 1440 to 1450 reads. Okay, all in all, very good, and we can see here everything is working. Everything is as it should be, according to Blackmagic, in terms of video formats. And stop this. Next drive I'm going to do will be the Samsung QVO, which has a SATA connection. It's actually up in the second optical drive bay. Okay. Error writing the test file. That's interesting. This worked a little while ago. Okay, worked that time. Okay, 257 write, 270 read, and that's pretty consistent. Yeah, the ProRes is all working fine. Cinema DNG RAW had some problems at the upper limits, as did the 10-bit. But all in all, we're good. All right. Next up, Samsung Evo. Now, interesting to note, write speeds are up about 100 megabytes a second, as are read speeds. And that's on a USB connection. It's interesting to note that USB 3 is delivering faster than the built-in SATA ports. And much the same. ProRes, everything works fine. Cinema DNG RAW at the very top, and the 10-bit. Certainly had trouble with 2K. Okay. Then the T5. And we see that it tests out really pretty much identically to the Evo, but both definitely faster than the Cuvo, which is a SATA connection. That should be really the only difference, would be how the drives are connected. All right. Now, for comparison's sake, Seagate 3 terabyte. Now that I find interesting. Now, these, of course, as we would expect, are the slowest speeds that we've seen. But I find them pretty respectable. It is only the hard disk drive that couldn't quite make it up at the top of the tool. Well, it's catching up a little bit. Maybe we'll give it a chance to run. We clearly had some more problems. Okay, interesting. All right, so as we see, the NVMe drive blows away all of the other drives. Now, it is certainly entirely possible that we rely too greatly on artificial benchmarks such as that. And it's a very useful test, and I don't doubt the results of it. Now, in terms of a real-world test, what I decided to do, and I've done this before, as you may have seen if you've seen the earlier videos, is to copy the same just about 14 gigabyte folder of videos onto each of these drives and time how long it took to do that copying task. Rather than have you sit through it, we can look at the results here. The Crucial NVMe, 1 minute and 10 seconds. Samsung QVO SATA, 1 minute 12 seconds. The Evo and the T5, just as the benchmark showed us, virtually identical, 1 minute and 11 seconds. And interesting to note, the 3 terabyte Seagate hard drive was the slowest, as we would expect, but not dramatically slow. These are all pretty much within the ballpark. Now, yeah, I'm not going to say that this test is the absolute be-all, end-all of tests, but I think it does show that having an NVMe SSD and having that set as your boot drive and running your operating system from it is very worthwhile. Whereas in terms of storage, these other options are all perfectly good. Using the SATA ports is fine. It is interesting to see that you're not going to lose a whole lot from the standpoint of connecting SSDs via USB. Okay, so all of this really quite interesting. And I think the setup that I've come up with, boot drive as opposed to storage, is really pretty good. You know, the 1 terabyte NVMe, which is where I'm running the operating system. I do have Mojave still loaded up on a SATA SSD. Then frequently accessed storage from SATA SSDs and long-term large storage on hard drives. Works for me. Well, I hope you've enjoyed seeing the results of this little bit of testing that I've been doing. Take care. Have a wonderful day.